Hello and welcome to the Nonsense Chronicles. This is Doug Sashery, and I'm joined by
Rob Mendiola.
and special. Oh,
Mendiola.
look, she just jumped the gun.
She's on it, man.
Yeah, she just jumped the gun. She puts everything together for us usually, and she doesn't usually sit in, but today she's sitting in, and
She's excited about the paranormal.
yes, she is excited about the paranormal, as we all are.
Yeah.
And in fact,
So, yeah. Who do we have today, Doug?
okay, well, as I was running the country,
Yeah.
I was also trying to stack up my visits to
Right.
presidential libraries. And like with anything in life, 45 minutes, that's all you get. Actually, President Ford's library got about 50 minutes.
Is that like the tour allotted space or time or whatever?
That's how much time I get myself because I got other
okay.
stuff to do. So I'm
Yeah.
just passing through. But I hit my sixth one. But while I was there, I think it was at Harding's that he also has a standing
Where's that?
mausoleum. It's in Pete Ghrist. Welcome to the program of the Northwest Indiana Paramutual Group.
Cool.
Paranormal Group. What the hell am I
Paranormal.
saying? Yeah. Pete,
Doug, Rob, and Spring, thanks for having me on.
you bet,
Thanks for
man.
joining us, man.
Tell me the official name of the group again, so I don't want to mess that up anymore.
Northwest Indiana Paranormal is one of my groups, and then the other one is the Griffith High School Paranormal Society.
Okay.
But one's student group, and the other one is the adult group.
What town did we meet? What town was that in? Where's the Harding Memorial? I mean,
Oh,
library. at?
man.
Yes,
Was it Gallion, Ohio?
that might have been. There's two towns that I hit that, and I hit Rutherford B. Hayes as well. But anyhow, I went to the library, but they said, "Oh, you need to go by it's the largest standing memorial outside of what?" Okay, so I just go real quick, and there's these four people there and all of a sudden they say, "Would you mind us taking a photo?" I said, "Yeah, but what if I run off? My typical way, smart ass." I said, "What if I just run off with your phone?" But no, no. I took that picture, and then I met them. And when they told me who they were with, man, my ears were perking because Pete, a lot of times when I'm on these trips, I'll meet X amount of people, and there's always a good story. So yeah, some of them will get to come and do podcasts, and we're
Yeah.
very thankful that you're here today, man.
That's what we love a lot about our trips. We always meet nice people on the way. We make new friends everywhere we go. It's all part of it. It's not just the paranormal. It's reaching out and making new friends, and getting our name out there.
Yeah, that's the journey. And I've got to ask you this question. Okay, wait. I'll ask that question later. I'm going to table that first. Tell us a little bit about what y'all do.
Well, I actually started with a first trip to Old Lake County Jail in Crown Point back in 2012. I was always into Halloween. I was always into spooky stuff, things like that growing up. I had a couple paranormal type experiences as I was growing up. And then, but never really got into the whole ghost hunting thing until I actually went to that jail. And that jail is actually where John Dillinger escaped from in 1934. They have it available for people to go through and do tours and paranormal investigations. And they've been doing a ton of restoration in there. A lady named Sandy Boyd runs it. They just do a fantastic job. But we went there and I was hooked after that. It was kind of a public investigation where you could just come and they'd give you some equipment and you'd walk around. And I was just, wow, this is great. So me and my friend Jenna, who was a teacher at the school that I work at, Griffith High School in Griffith, Indiana, she ended up just going out investigating with me after that because she had gone to the public investigation as well. Went to a couple places and we were just having a blast with it. We started buying some equipment. And then we'd come to school, and she was a history teacher, and I was a school resource officer. I'm a police officer in Griffith, Indiana. And we would just tell the kids, yeah, we went here, we went there. It was really cool. And they said, man, we wish we could go with you. I said, well, you know what? Let's try to make a club. So in 2013, we wrote it up. It was accepted. Since that time, we've gone on over 170 trips.
Damn.
With the students. The students this year we had 129 students in it. It's by far the most popular club anywhere, from what I know of. It started off with 30 the first year, and then the second year was like 75, and it just kept on springing up. Somewhere along the line, about 2018, a lot of the adults, the chaperones that go on these trips, and the teachers, they decided, you know what, let's make our own group, the ones that we can kind of go farther and go to maybe the more scarier places. And so that was Northwest Indiana Paranormal that was started. And we've been doing that. That group has done probably about 80 some investigations since that time. We're not just about paranormal stuff. The student group, a couple of weeks ago, we went out, we put flags on graves of American soldiers at a nearby cemetery.
Nice.
For time for Memorial Day. We've done where we boxed up food for needy families around Christmas time. We, as our adult group, we go from place to place and we do cleanups. So we'll go to old speakeasies or old jails and places that are historical and help them clean up. Or raise money through different fundraisers that they're doing. We're all completely not for profit.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was now, I did see y'all have a group trip coming up. He has a group trip, I guess, coming in. They get people to sign up in advance. And is that one to the jail? I couldn't remember where I saw.
Yes, we're this Saturday we're going to Old Benton County Jail.
Okay.
Which is in Fowler, Indiana. So when we do these events, we literally have people hand their money directly to our host, so that they don't think we're making any money off of it, because we're not. So it's just something that we put these things together because of the fact that it helps to collect that money for their continued operation and restoration efforts that they're doing at that. And that's an 1876 jail.
Wow.
So it's always facing the wrecking ball. And so we like to come in there and try to make sure that we can help them keep their doors open.
Yeah, that's my hometown is a lot like that on some of the older stuff. If somebody's not investing or doing something with it, then it faces that threat. That's very true. Now, I was looking, do y'all have any video? I couldn't find, but I probably didn't look good enough. Did y'all have any videos? Do y'all ever video any of the trips y'all go on?
Yeah, we actually, what we started doing was, we used to have these kind of, everybody starts off with some crummy equipment, so we had some these little body cams that probably weren't the highest quality, but they were night vision, and we would set them up in different places.
That's cool.
And every once in a while we'd get something cool on there, but you didn't really get it wouldn't show you the whole room, or it wouldn't work in complete darkness. So what we did is last year, probably in the middle of the year, we went out and we bought a nice wired system that sees in complete darkness. With 4K cameras and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
We started setting up a base with a TV, and somebody sits there, and anytime we hear something, we'll radio it in, and they'll write it in the book. And then that's something we can go back and we can look at the tape later and see, because there's 8 cameras that we can put up. So we'll go back and look at things later to see if we've captured anything. Some of the places we go to have their own cameras. So that kind of stuff's pretty cool. They've sent us evidence that we've collected when things have happened. So it just makes it a lot better when you can go and you can see inside of a room and it's completely pitch black, and you turn that on, and you know that you're being recorded the whole time. It gives you a little bit of a sense of ease as well when you're sitting in that dark basement.
So what kind of imaging are you using? Is it like infrared or thermal or?
Yeah, it's infrared.
Infrared, okay.
Is the cameras.
That's cool. Pretty cool. Now, Spring, I know you got 500,000 questions.
No, I don't have 500,000, but I do have a very basic one.
Okay.
The differences between paranormal, supernatural, and hopefully most people understand what fantasy is, but like the differences between all of them.
Well, paranormal, I guess the basic thing for that would be that it's, it's not normal, abnormal. So that would be more along the lines I would think of like the ghosts type things. Supernatural would run into something about, something where, you read about somebody who's, on a train and the train crashes and they're not hurt. Things like that. I would feel like that would be more of the supernatural type stuff. That's at least that's my understanding of it. I'm sorry.
Oh, so yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think so too.
The fantasy. Oh, sorry.
No, I said I think so too because I thought I knew what the word paranormal meant, but I just to make sure I wasn't an idiot. Yeah, I had to go and actually look it up and say, okay, yeah, it's just what's outside of what we consider
of what's normal.
Yeah. In this world, that's kind of hard to say.
Normal.
Yeah.
Like most of our friends.
Yeah.
And us.
This is true. And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. And then the fantasy would be, people who, believe in elves and, wisps and things like that. I'm not discrediting them or anything like that. Some people believe that there are leprechauns, in Ireland and things like that. And I'm not going to knock them or anything. I don't know for a fact that they don't exist.
Man, listen, I definitely have a group of friends in high recording music positions that firmly believe that there's a Bigfoot and stuff. And my thing with them is I tell them, I'm open to believing just about anything, but I can tell you this. If there was Bigfoot ever in South Louisiana, what happened to him was what happened to the buffalo. He got eaten. There's nothing
by the mosquitoes.
Yeah, there's nothing that my people won't cook and eat.
Oh yeah,
man. Yeah. With all deep in those swamps, there's nowhere that nobody goes. I mean, everybody goes, but that's man. I just find all of that super curious and open minded, especially the.
Let's an escape, from reality, which we need a lot of that lately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is a good thing.
It can't hurt to get away.
Right.
It can't hurt to get away every now and then, right?
That's right. Have y'all ever done Shawshank, anything like that? Oh, I can't remember the real name of it, but
Ohio State Reformatory.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually did investigate that. That was about 2 years ago. We went there. We stayed there till about 4:00 in the morning, and it was just absolutely amazing. First, you do kind of like a walkthrough, and I mean, just during the walkthrough, we're standing in a room, and they're showing us where they used to kind of put people in a chair in the middle of a room and kind of press on them a little bit for information. And I was standing there, and all of a sudden, I just turned to my girlfriend to the side, and I said, "What?" Because it sounded like she had gone, "Hey," in my ear, whispering.
Oh wow.
And she looked at me and goes, "What?" Well, I didn't say anything.
That's creepy.
Because, so it was, I mean, you're in there, 15 minutes and that happens. So that place is known for doppelgangers, where you'll, see, something that looks like your friend, but it's walking way up ahead of you, and then you run to catch up to them and they're gone. And all of a sudden your friend walks up behind you going, "Who you running after?" That kind of stuff. But at the end of the night, we were cleaning up equipment, and I come walking out, and all the guys and girls are all standing there staring up at the 5th floor. The place is just gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
And they're standing up there and looking straight up, and they turn around and look at me and they go, "Wait a minute, you're down here?" And I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" And they said, "We just saw who we thought was you walking on the 5th floor with a flashlight, shining it in every single one of the cells. We thought you were looking to make sure we didn't leave any equipment behind."
Oh, that's
That's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
The guy just kind of eventually the light went off and it vanished. And we believe that was a night watchman, So That would be something that would just be, something that would be just kind of hanging around. They're still doing his job, still going door to door.
Yeah, they say your energy stays here.
Yeah. What about
when you pass?
Yeah. What about any asylums, anything like that?
We went to the Randolph County Infirmary in Winchester, Indiana. That's another fantastic place. They actually have a room. It's Ida's room. There was a lady that was dropped off there as a child. Back in early 1900s, and she eventually became the cook and stayed there for decades and decades. Well, in her room, she used to collect dolls, and then people would bring dolls in there to her and stuff like that. So when she passed away, they left all the dolls in there, and more people brought dolls, and so there's this room full of dolls, wall to wall dolls. And I thought it'd be a great idea to sleep in there overnight. So I did, and I'm like convinced that it took years off my life.
Yeah.
Like sleeping in there was so scary.
Yeah, spring is crossing her head right now on this. No, on the same way.
I'm still not over that movie that I saw as a teenager, the trilogy one where the little doll underneath the bed pulls her underneath the bed and then pulls her up the.
Oh, Poltergeist?
No. Oh, I'm way older than that.
Yeah. Yeah, she's closer to my age. But
so I guess it sounds like more asylums still exist in the northeastern part of the U.S., right?
Well, you talking about like the abandoned ones, like they haven't been torn down, because
back in that time they would put people more into asylums, right?
Yeah,
for various conditions.
No, mostly women that were not cooperative.
Yeah,
to their husbands.
I'm sure it was more than women. Though. It was women
considered crazy, and they were.
Yeah, but now if we do it, we're a bad guy.
Yep.
Oh wait, what?
Yep.
But I'm sure people have had mental issues for as long as.
No, it is,
around,
but I think it was like they had a much broader term of that back then. But I find that that these stories, anything about it, that's why, to me, stories, if somebody's writing a story about a house or a facility, like Netflix, The Haunting of Hill House, I think it's the best thing they've done, and nothing's even close to it, because houses traditionally have so much history, and they, maybe there's something else going on, but it definitely can. The mind can go in a million different ways on that. So yeah.
So now you just got to get picked up by like A&E or something, huh?
Yeah, that's
us.
Yeah, that's what you need, Pete.
Oh boy, along over the years, there's been like a couple different things that have kind of came up. There was one thing that happened right before COVID. There was a Canadian broadcasting company that was wanting to do a show based on my student group.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and that kind of, washed all that away.
Yeah.
Other than that, we've been on Windy City Live in Chicago. And then, there's been a couple things here and there where somebody's been like, oh, we'd love to do this or whatever the case may be. And, it's just, there's a million people in this thing, in this field that are trying to get on TV with it. And we're probably one of the few that's not. Like it's like some people do it for the notoriety. They're trying to get on TV. They're trying to get money out of it. It's all about money to them, and to us, it's all about history.
Yeah.
So to us, we don't want to make any money off it. If something happens where we have an opportunity to, help save some place, or
I guess that's
something along the lines like that, then great.
Yeah,
but we're not trying to do that.
Because in turn, it does help and benefit other.
Yeah, because it would also could fund
facilities and stuff like that.
Future, expansion of that. What they're doing. I think that's fantastic.
There's a big market for it too.
Yeah, there is. Sure. And look, man, my wife watches that Skinwalker Ranch stuff, and there must be like 5 billion episodes on that. Do you know what I'm talking about, Pete?
Yes.
Yeah, man, she is. Oh my God. I'm like, I said, this is kind of like Oak Island. They could go on forever.
I mean, if you can get kids interested in anything other than, their cell phones, I think that's cool too.
Oh, I think that's a great thing too.
Get them outside doing something.
It doesn't surprise me that kids want to do that, man. I think that is pretty cool.
Well, what I love the most about it is the fact that it brings together kids from all different walks of life. Mm-hmm. So you literally have, cheerleaders, football players, chess club people, Star Trek club, Dungeons and Dragons club, band members, and these people are all united in a common interest.
Yeah,
and cool. Then so these people would have never talked to each other,
right?
Ever, because obviously we have all those people in it, but we can only bring like 10 people at a time. So because I drive the bus and it's one of the mini buses, and so we have these kids and they're on the buses, and on the way back you see these kids who never would have talked to each other, and they're sitting next to each other with their phones, and they're showing each other the pictures that they got while they were there, and the next day you see them walking in the hallway together. Yeah, and it's just, to me, cool. That's just what it's all about.
Yeah, that's cool.
It breaks down barriers. Yeah, that is very cool. Spring, did you have question 2 of 4,000 for us?
Texas. Have you done anything in Texas?
Or outside?
I've never been to Texas ever in my life.
Oh,
I'd love to go there. I went to Louisiana once on a plane. I went to New Orleans for a FOP convention. But that's about as like you're talking to somebody who's never been to Florida even.
Yeah, I'm with you on there. I haven't been very many places at all. So.
But I've been to Ireland though.
Oh wow!
So it's like it's kind of weird. I've been to Ireland, but not Florida or Texas or California.
Lower 48. Yeah.
See leprechauns.
They're actually. They're actually. I'll tell you this after, but go and look. Google when we're done with this. Go and Google the Alabama leprechaun. Yeah, just go and do it.
Is that the thing where they had the drawing on the newscast?
I think they did, but it was because there was a guy up in a tree.
That's funny.
It was in Mobile, man.
This was like a composite sketch, and it was like some weird drawing.
It was just hilarious, man. It was.
Are there any asylums in Louisiana?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Sure?
Yeah, I mean,
they got pretty good history there.
Every state had asylums, yeah. But I guess up in if they're up in Northwest Indiana, then they're talking Chicago, maybe like Northwest Ohio. Is that right?
We've done Michigan, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Ohio, obviously Indiana, Illinois. This year we're looking to do the Sally House out in Kansas, and then we want to go to Missouri and Pennsylvania. We're looking to do the Gettysburg out there. So we want to go out there, stay in like a bed and breakfast, one of those 1800s places. But we want to keep branching out, going further and further to different places. And eventually I'd like to get out to the Conjuring House out in Rhode Island. So that'd be pretty cool. You can actually rent that place out.
Nice. Yeah, that's we're doing Gettysburg in mid-July. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've never been there either, so I'm a history nerd, so that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah,
I went there when I was in high school, and I remember we got out of the car at every monument. We're like getting out of the car, and then finally we were like, "There's a monument every 10 feet."
Just
stay in the car. We're gonna run out of film, But that was back when we had like the throwaway cameras, like the disposable cameras. So like you're gonna run out of film.
I kind of figured that's probably like Vicksburg's battle site, which is, it seems like it's up this, it's up this hill, up this embankment, and it seemed like it would be, a little short trip. You can spend hours in there, and they have stuff every, just like that, a marker here, a marker there, grave markers. I'm like, you kind of have to pick and choose. Like when we go to Gettysburg, you're going to get the Doug Sashry run through. Yeah, you get that version. You get that version of Gettysburg. Yeah. Okay, they came, the songs, the speech was after, and that was it. No,
just let the GoPro roll.
Yeah, that's right.
I do have a question.
Are there any presidential libraries there,
Oh, I'm
Oh.
sure, yeah.
like
Wait.
in Pennsylvania?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of did Pennsylvania or Ohio had like 5 or 6, and I'll hit in fact, when I come back from there, I'll hit the 2 in the Cleveland area and the First Ladies Museum as well. But I'm not sure if Pennsylvania, I don't know if Pennsylvania's given us a president yet. That's actually a good question. It's one I'll explore because I always trying to have a heads up on that. But it looks like Spring once again has another question.
Oh, yes, I do. Like the Winchester House. I know it's very public. I mean, everybody knows about that house. Do you find something that's so commercial? I'd have to say it's commercialized kind of now. You
talking about the Winchester House in California?
Yes. Do you just
go ahead.
Using that as an example, the places that you have been, do you find any of them that are like too commercialized and so you don't really feel anything there or have any kind of paranormal activity or not sure?
Yes, that's an excellent question because we actually started to change the way that we did things this year based on that theme right there. Because, you have like these places like, Waverly Hills Sanitarium in Kentucky and the Villisca Axe Murder House and Lizzie Borden's house and things like that, where people, you're just like, wow, something horrible happened there. There's got to be some stuff. And I'm not saying nothing ever happens there. People get a lot of evidence there and things like that. However, I've realized that a lot of times when we get our hopes up for some place, it doesn't always pan out. Like you go there and you're kind of like, man, this place is just, all hyped up and you don't get anything here. And what it goes back to like what ghosts, how they manifest, and they manifest off of energy. So like, those, you'll be sitting there on your phone, all of a sudden it'll say it's 50%. Well, you know that something's going to happen. Just something came and stole that energy out of there. Sometimes they'll steal the energy out of you.
Yeah.
And use that, and people feel sick and things like that. It's kind of like, look out, something's going to happen. But here's the thing. If people are coming and investigating every single night, like they do in Waverly Hills, or even, some of the other places that I've mentioned, it's these ghosts, they don't have any energy left. Yeah. They're constantly like, it's all like people are trying to get them to perform.
Yeah.
So sometimes they might not have any energy after, having people over there going, hey, do this, putting their traps out for people for these things to run across and things like that. So that's why we went this year and did the Gill House over in Galleon, just because we were like, man, we heard about this place, through just research. And when I ask people, I'm like, hey, so what do you know about the Gill House? They're like, I've never heard of the Gill House. I'm like, well, then I want to go there.
Yeah, good.
Because it's different. And we went there, and it was one of the most active investigations we've ever had.
Yeah,
and it, nobody knows about it.
It's kind of good. I was kind of wondering the same thing about, if you got people tromping through nonstop, is going to suck the energy out of a place. Yeah.
Or piss them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, you never know what the person who came in there before you did. Somebody's going in there playing with a Ouija board. Or, somebody's in there like, pissing people off. Yeah. Going in there and trying to taunt spirits and, things like that. You have to treat spirits like, with respect, like you would talk to somebody else. And some people, they're like, oh, I'm not getting any evidence here. I'm going to go in here and start taunting these spirits, and I'm going to drag a Ouija board out.
Oh, no.
And when you do that, like you're just taking the phone off the hook.
Yeah.
And just leaving it there.
Well, they should remember.
We've had some bad experiences with Ouija boards. And so like, I don't mess with them personally, but I don't tell the people in my group that they can't do it. But there's been a couple of scary situations that have popped up out of those type of things, and people getting sick, stuff like that.
I've never messed with one of those, and I don't think I ever want to. Yeah, I just kind of want to stay off of that. But I am hitting the Winchester House in October, So yeah,
Oh, that'll
cool.
be amazing.
yeah, it's definitely because
That'll be amazing.
yeah, I mean from the movies there, and then of course Stephen King, which he had based his Rose Red off of that. It was the Diary of Eleanor or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was fantastic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But let's hope that it's energy sucked out that day and nothing bad happens to me. That's cool. Then they can leave it alone after.
Yeah.
But that's a place that's been. Good God, I can only imagine how many people
go through there.
go through that house.
Like Graceland.
Yeah. Spring.
I'm not sure I have any other questions. I mean, do you know anything about the Winchester house? I grew up and was always told that she had a psychic that told her that she had to keep building or she would die.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Was it a psychic or like a ghost?
No, I actually heard it wasn't her. Wasn't it like? Well, she did allegedly. We're all the novices here. Allegedly, she either had readings at her house or was it her helper or somebody that suggested it? I can't remember. But yeah, she had to keep building. I did hear that too. I don't know if have you read any about the Winchester house?
Yeah, that she just it became like an addiction to keep doing it. But the thing is the reason why the house is the way that it is, where it doesn't make any sense. Where you have like stairs that go into walls and doors that open into walls or open into a drop, things like that, is because they're trying to make it so that spirits couldn't find their way around the house.
Oh wow!
Oh, okay.
So
that's creepy.
so like the people that were relaying that information to her about how to build it were people that were involved in the psychic world and things like that. But they were kind of like telling her, hey, if the spirit's chasing you up the stairs and you're the only one who knows your way around in here, they're not going to be able to follow you. But also that a lot of that bad juju, so to speak, was because of them inventing that rifle and thinking about how many people were killed with that rifle.
Yeah.
So they were kind of like, well, you have to atone for how many people were killed with your invention. Things like that. So anybody who was killed with that rifle might be coming after you. So you have to build this house so that they can't find you in the house.
That's right. I remember that now. I'd forgotten all about the main part behind that was the Winchester rifle.
Yeah.
That's true.
Still a lot of hate for the rifles.
Yeah. Okay.
Arms.
Anything else? No other questions?
Not right now.
Okay. She'll come up with one later and we'll text you. No, I'm just kidding. But we just find it real fascinating, man. It's a curiosity. It's something that like I never rule out.
It's not something we do around here in Texas.
No, not
that I know of, really.
Oh, I'm sure they exist.
Maybe, yeah. I haven't really heard a lot about that.
No, there's a whole tour.
Is there?
Oh yeah, there has to
Ghost
be
tours here.
Yeah,
really.
The Alamo.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
I mean,
that goes to the Alamo.
and
absolutely.
I'm from Louisiana.
I've never even been to the Alamo.
I can assure you that there's plenty. Especially if Pete went down to New Orleans a little bit. I mean, there's so many places in New Orleans.
I've been in Texas almost 54 years and never been to the Alamo. That's crazy.
Wow.
Need to get out there.
He does not get out very often.
Yeah, those above ground cemeteries in Louisiana, those were creepy when we were walking around in the daytime.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah.
And it was very interesting to learn about how, they essentially stacked the bones of the person who died next in the family on top of the person's bones that died before them.
Wow.
In some of these places. You know what I mean? Just because it being above sea level, below sea level.
Yeah,
Right.
then you'd have your floods that come through and everything else,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of voodoo stuff too, and as you know, in
very much so.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
There's a very interesting city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's a strong, of course, French, but there's also a very strong Caribbean influence in New Orleans, and
There's a lot of vampires there.
a lot of stories came from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Anne Rice.
And Ross,
Yep.
yeah.
But she went. You know where she went to school?
No.
UNT.
Okay.
Does
Yeah.
Delta Burke still live in New Orleans?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
When we went to Ireland, we walked right by Bram Stoker's
Oh wow.
college where he went. I forget which college it was, but we went right by his dorm room where he stayed.
That's
Oh my
pretty cool.
God. Yeah, that's nice, man.
That's very cool.
So I mean, you could see where he gets some of his stuff is looking at all those castles and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm sure Anne Rice, like she had a lot of things she's looking around in Louisiana, and she's coming up with a lot of her ideas there.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Definitely sparked a lot of ideas for sure.
Now,
That story started from her believed young daughter that died. And she wanted to, of course, depression. And she went into writing about a child that would live forever. And that's how that all started.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Pete, do you have any links or anything, sites that our listeners can go and visit?
Are you Instagram official?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a Instagram for Northwest Indiana Paranormal, and then we have I have my own personal one as well that I put a lot of stuff on there. Pete Ghrist, that's on there, and then so we post a lot of our pictures on there and things, but the main thing that we use is Facebook. Facebook is what we normally post most of our. They have an album for every single place we've ever been. We have, they can see all the different pictures and
That's
stuff
cool.
like that. We post, there's a cool video in there about what happened at the Gill House, with some lights coming on and off on command, which was pretty good. If you go through a lot of the different albums, Roth House is another crazy place over in Watseka, and there's actually, we've got a really cool picture in there of a full apparition sitting on a couch, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you can kind of go there at your leisure. All you have to do is just request to join that page, and then it asks you like 2 questions: where you're from, and just to try to keep bots out of there and like spam stuff.
I'm from the spirit world.
Yeah, they even took me in. So they'll take anybody in. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
so. But no, we will direct people there, man. And Pete, so thanks so much for joining us today, man.
No, I really appreciate you having me. It's always I like to brag about the kids group a lot. They're
Yeah,
just
keep doing that.
just awesome kids. Just awesome. I can't tell you enough good things about these kids. You have kids who are a little bit rough around the edges sometimes, and in order to stay in the club, you have to not be in trouble. And so some of them you'll see them and they're, yes sir, no sir to everything and stuff like that. And it kind of helps to keep them in line, a little bit along the way too, because they just love doing it. I just love it when you're standing there and they start asking questions about the history of it, or we're on our way back and they're like, hey, do you think this would have happened to her? Or, what can you tell me what a disappointment room is? Things like that. Just really, really impressed with the decor of the kids, and then my adult group is just awesome people as well.
That's fantastic, man.
Kudos to you, man. You sound awesome too for doing all that.
Yeah, it is.
That's
good.
a big service, to those kids.
They were very good people to meet.
Well, cool.
Yeah, Pete, you take care, man. If I can
appreciate that.
Yeah, anything ever we can do for you, let us know. We'll do it, man. If you run out of
Well, thank you very much. It was really nice meeting you all as well. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show.
Hey, anytime, man. You're always welcome here. And this has been the Nonsense Chronicles. Please like and subscribe.
Later.